Hello, 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 and welcome back to this episode of Bursts of Joy, where every 2 weeks we discuss all things music. Each episode, there's a listening homework assigned, so if you feel like keeping up to date with the podcast or maybe just listening to a new album, you can take a listen. It's almost like a book club, but with music. The homework for next episode is the album What Do You Think About the Car by Declan McKenna. It's his first album, and it was actually chosen by me for a change because next episode is just going to be me. There's not going to be a guest like there usually is. Also, if you're listening, make sure to keep up to date on my Instagram and on my TikTok as well, because the next episode is going to go a little bit differently. It'll still be uploaded onto Spotify and other streaming platforms, but it's going to be live streamed, and I'm going to have more information about that as time goes on. So keep an eye out on social medias. But this week, Claire and I were joined by Mack Smith, a really funny TikTok comedian, to discuss After Laughter by Paramore, one of my favorite albums right now. It was so good. It was such a nice talk with her. I hope you enjoy. She's really, really cool. You might know her from her fame from her Zanzibar dance, which she created on TikTok. It was popular a little while ago. But we get more into that in the episode, along with a lot about her music taste. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much, as always, for listening. And remember to keep an eye out for the changes coming next episode.
All right, we're recording. Hello, and welcome to Bursts of Joy. This episode, joined with Claire's, of course.
Hey.
And Mack, our special guest. Super exciting to have Mack on here, and super excited to talk about the album that you chose because, I mean, probably one of the most classy classics of the last however many years. So, Mack, give us a little. What's your story with Paramore? What's your story with this album? Like, give us everything. Tell us.
I would say I love Paramore so much because I think a lot of people have experienced it, but it's one of those bands where you feel like you kind of grow with them. And I feel like I've been with my mental health and I don't know, just relationship wise, like I feel like I've been on this journey with them that's so incredible. I would say probably like the end of elementary school is when I started getting into them. And then like in junior high was right before their self-titled album came out. And I would say that's when I started like standing.
Okay.
like started know every song, all of that. When this album came out, it was 2017, and it was like coming out of some of the worst, like mental health wise, like the worst years of my life. And I was talking to Emma about this, but this album, like the connections I had to it in 2017, like as the years go by, every time I listen to it, I find like new ways to connect to it, like based on things that I'm experiencing now. And I just think it's super powerful.
How old were you when it came out? What were you?
I was 17.
How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 20.
That's I think though, what your description of that is like probably the most accurate depiction of like a really good album. If you can come back to it after so many years and still find meaning and like truth and like and comfort in it. I mean,
Right.
to say, but I think that shows like really, I mean, yeah. And it's so good. I mean,
amazing.
So good.
Even I feel like, so the lyrics, like lyrically, it's incredibly powerful, but like melodically, even they could have just, all the lyrics could have been like pee pee poo poo for like the hour and a half or whatever that it is. And I would have been like, amazing, Paramore has done it again. And it is like such a weird album because like the first few times I listened to it, I'm dancing the whole way through. And then I like listen to it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to cry right now.
That's another indicator though. If you can simultaneously have like this fun, upbeat, I mean, some sad songs here and there, but like if you just don't think too hard about it, it's just like this joyful album, and then you take time. I think that's another indicator. Great album. Hayley Williams.
She's been a theme on this podcast.
I know
like, this is a theme now.
I was gonna say, like, even because I watched the episode when you did talk about Petals for Armor, and that's when you. Another thing about Paramore is just like the journey that I was talking about, like going from After Laughter and talking about this kind of like this theme of like growing up and like trying to come out of traumatic situations, trying to heal, and just having like feeling this social pressure to fake it. Going into Petals for Armor is like this amazing like example of growth and showing how you like really need to let yourself feel in order to experience that growth. And like it's one that like Petals for Armor is amazing standing on its own. If you have like listened to all, like if you've been following Paramore and you hear that, like it's so powerful. Like just that, like the realization that she had when she was writing that.
Oh yeah, that's. I think after I've listened to it I mean, I've listened to this Paramore album before, of course, but like really listening to Petals for Armor before really listening to After Laughter, it's a. I mean, it's a totally different experience, but it's still. I can see that. I can see that. What are your favorites if you had to choose?
I would say, as far as like bangers go, Idol Worship, that's one that I always return to because I can just yell it in my car and scream all the words. Rose Colored Boy will always be one of my top ones. 26, that song makes me bawl my eyes out. I saw that one. I saw them in concert for this tour. And it was they did like an acoustic set. Everybody was dead silent and everybody had like their flashlights on, and I was just
You're gonna need to talk about that more in a
Now
second.
that's a question we always ask.
Yeah. I loved Pool. I think if I had to choose one favorite, Pool is my favorite.
Yes, that is, and that's one that was one of the main ones that I like, the one that changed meaning for me, because like in high school was connecting this mostly to growing up and like just my depression and my anxiety. But after high school, I was in a relationship. It was like really good, and then it was really bad, and like the first line of that song, as if the first cut wasn't deep enough, I dove in again because I'm not into giving up. When I heard that, like after coming out of that relationship, it like killed me so bad. And it's like, ugh, just with those like toxic relationships, I don't know what it is. And especially for women, we're taught like we need to fight for what we love. And like if you really love me, like tough it out. And it's like, no, like this, no.
Oh my gosh, you hit the nail on the head. What about you, Claire? What are your favorites?
Oh, okay. Well, classic me. I always have to reference my phone. I will always, okay, 26. It's so funny that you were talking about these. And Idol Worship were like, I don't know, because I've listened to this album before, but like, I think hearing it again, me being 23 is different. Like, I was going into my like I was going to be a sophomore in college. I'm 23. I probably just said that, whatever. But Idol Worship in 26 really hit me as a person. And then I think like my biggest connection I was making was like, now that I've listened to Petals for Armor, I feel like I have a completely different lens coming through. Like I wouldn't have known. But she really made it like, I feel like I have such a different perspective that I wouldn't have had now because of this podcast.
Because she was telling a little more backstory, a little more like about Haley, because I didn't know anything about her except, bits and pieces, but
Yeah, he who shall not be named. I don't even get me started. If you guys, not to assign more homework, but she recently released another album called Flowers for Vases, and she describes it as like the pathway from After Laughter to Petals for Armor, and it just really addresses like that loss a little bit more and like kind of going through the stages of recovery. Oh, she's amazing.
I have to re-listen to that then, because I listened to it when it came out and it was, incredible. But tell us about the concert. Tell us about the concert.
Yes.
So that was, and I was before COVID, like I was a consistent like live shows. I love concerts so much. And right before I like made a promise to myself, I was like, I'm going to start going to more like just one-offs, like the local shows at like the $10 whatever. I don't even know the band. And then this happened. But I remember it was at like this huge venue, and it was, I don't know, Paramore shows are so fun, I say, having been to one. It's just like that weird fan base where it feels like a community and you can just go in and get along with everybody. And I wasn't in the pit or anything, but we had like pretty good seats. But God, just hearing like that was one of the last shows where she played Misery Business live. I was like, yes, feminism, but also that song goes so hard. I would needed to hear that live. And just the experience of like seeing, because for that song, you know how she always pulls people up on stage to like sing the bridge.
Oh,
She's
actually, I did not know that. Wait,
so every Paramore show, they
wait,
bring up
you're lying. Wait.
they bring up
What?
one or two fans. Like they've done this forever. And during the bridge, they have her like the I watched my wildest dreams come true. Not one of them involving you. Like that part, they bring fans up on the stage to sing that. And then they just get to like headbang and run around, and it's so fun. And then like after that, to see those people come back to the crowd, and then like we were walking out together, and just to like pat them on the back and be like, that was so cool. And they're just like glowing, and it's just like that's the impact that like I know that Haley and the rest of Paramore are like used to it, and like Taylor and Zach, they have given so much to this album as well. Like not, and I feel like that's something also that she faces, being like a front woman, is like it's a group effort for sure, and I think she has to try a lot to like remind people like, hey, not just me. But God, when you like get to experience such an intimate moment like that with your favorite like artists who have given so much, like that is something, God, that's like such a powerful experience.
Oh yeah, I was a big concert
Yeah.
goer too. But what other shows did you go to? What did you?
I will say that my first concert was Big Time Rush. Absolutely amazing. I think
Still hits.
yes, they opened for Selena Gomez, and then I was like went for Big Time. And this is the thing, I'm gonna tie this to feminism because I can, and I like had half of my experience. So I was at the Mid-State Fair. I think I was in like 5th grade or something, and these guys from my class showed up because their sisters or something like came to see it, and then I bedazzled a shirt that said "I love BTR," and then I was like, I'm embarrassed because they're here. I ruined it. This was ruined by men. My Big Time Rush concert experience, everything. Levi, for my 5th grade class, I remember this.
Name dropping.
I'm name dropping. I don't care. It's fine. I'm still mad about it. But yeah, Big Time Rush. I saw One Direction twice. Those were big moments in my life. That was it. I went to a lot, like I was very much so in like had a big emo phase. I will send you guys pictures later. So it was a lot of like Fall Out Boy, Panic concerts. I saw Gerard Way, a lot of like smaller, like of like the pop punk kind of shows at these like tiny venues. I'm trying to think who else I saw a lot. There's this band, the Technicolors, there from Arizona. I've seen them like I think it's 12 times now. Like they're amazing, and I love them so much. But yeah, those would be like I saw Billy Joel. I said we're gonna have to get to that at some point, but
Elephant in the room.
Yes, serious elephant in the room. But that's so cool. That's so cool.
I love the way you talk. I feel like I just need to say that. Like you are so eloquent. It's so weird.
I feel like I'm a rambler.
Like it's so cool because you say things so profoundly.
Oh my gosh, it's like it's so easy. I don't know. You're made for this.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that I miss concerts more than probably anything, and I love hearing about other people's concert stories and like remembering the joy that it brought everybody that was involved. Is just
it makes me like almost like want to cry.
It does make me cry. I have cried about this. It's like and at the end of every Paramore show, they always yell, they said, "We love you," and they go, "And we are Paramore," and like the whole crowd does it because like we are Paramore, like everybody. And that like I don't know, anything will just make me cry. Anytime I think about people singing together, I don't know what like primal brain that I have when I'm like, this means community, this means love. I'm happy right now. But like I will just cry at stuff like that.
this is too much. This is too much.
Like I just miss concerts so much.
I go through these phases where I'll just pull up live videos of my favorite artists on the TV. So I'm like front row, and then exactly like you were saying, just bawl my eyes out and just like have my moments, especially people that I haven't seen in concert. Like I've wanted to see Declan McKenna ever since I ever listened to one of his songs, but he only tours in the UK so far. So I had, even if COVID hadn't happened, I don't even know if I would have been able to see him. So for like a solid month a little while ago, every night I would be watching live shows like on the TV. And I just missed. Claire, I wanted to bring this up because I remember first ever episode you talked about liking Vampire Weekend, and I've been in a Vampire Weekend like street recently. I cannot stop like, and I did not listen to Vampire Weekend before, really. I knew a few songs or whatever, but I've been loving.
What are you listening to? Mac, have you ever listened to Vampire Weekend?
all of them. No, go ahead, Mac. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't listened to very much. I know like the bigger songs, and like Over the Sunflower was on my like, because I love Steve Lacy. That was on like my most listened to of 2020. But yeah, I like everything I hear, but I haven't taken the time to like go through their discography.
That was me until I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a go, because my best friend Abby also loved Vampire Weekend like when she was in middle school. So I just started listening, and I've been.
What songs are? What are your like number ones? What album?
My favorites that made it to this list. It's not all of them, but M79, White Sky, Run. I love Diane Young. I love. Oh God. All of them. I don't know.
Everything about. I'm gonna like Diane Young like changed my life because I watched a video about how he thought about the way he made it and like the way it waves when you hear the baby.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
that, and it changed my life. And like I think about the line Irish and proud baby naturally because you got the luck of a Kennedy. I think about that every day of my life. I was like, you clever Ezra Koenig. Anyways, but hearing that live like changed my life. So
you saw them live. Yeah. Oh, I knew that.
With my brother, which was the weirdest thing ever, because like my brother and I are like the very similar music taste, but like we're also like not like he's not my concert. You know, it's like you're a level of vulnerable at a concert, and my brother and I are vulnerable with each other. But I'm like, we were like in this moment, like, yes, you introduced this to me, and now we're gonna bowl at this concert. So it was
bonding, sibling bonding. Do you have any siblings on this topic?
Yeah, I have a younger sibling. She has a very different taste in music. There was a point like when I was in all my like emo stuff, when I would just like sometimes I would hear like Fall Out Boy coming from her room, and I was like, I did it. I did this to her. But now I think I'm more, she listens to just like a lot of popular stuff and more like rap and R&B. And it's like good. It's the thing where like I like it, and I just have not taken a lot of the time to like really get into it. So
you're in your own phase, you know.
Yeah.
Well, now we can move on to the question Claire was asking before, which is, we ask this every time, you know, now besides this album, what other stuff are you listening to? And also since childhood, basically going through your life, what did you listen to starting from when you were a child up until now?
Oh God, I would say that I had a lot of like older music playing in my house all the time. I'm trying to think the first.
That's why we all have very similar energies, because I feel like we have a very similar energy.
I think if we have like the normal or like the usual like at least 20 years separation between your parents. Yeah, so for me, I think it was a lot of 80s stuff and kind of more like new wave-esque. I'm not good with genres. I could be wrong. My dad's favorite band is The Police. I've seen Sting in concert a few times. I met Sting when I was 12. Fun fact, he touched my head. He said, "Hello."
Oh my God.
So like The Police was always playing in my house. My mom's a huge like Led Zeppelin fan, and she always brags to me. And it's funny because now like some parents just like don't listen to music. Like she doesn't really like actively listen to music, and I can't imagine that like in my life, not listening to it every second of the day. But she saw, it was one concert, and it was Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Pearl Jam at the same show, and I was like, what world are you living? But then a lot of like some 60s stuff too, and I kind of said that. But a lot of like Joni Mitchell, a lot of the Beatles. Oh my God, so much Beatles. I'm trying to think other, the Cars, Talking Heads.
So that was like when you were in like
That's
elementary.
just like all growing up. I just like had that same taste as them.
Mhm.
And I still do. I still listen to all of that stuff. But yeah, and then into high school, it was very much so. Oh, junior high, One Direction, all the way. I'm trying to think of what else. I had like a big Taylor Swift kick, fell out because my internalized misogyny, and I'm just now like, since I've been in college, like really getting back into it.
When did your emo phase hit?
13. Like 12, like coming out of middle school, and I still listen like Fall Out Boy's pre-hiatus stuff. I will defend it till the day I die. I love it so much. I have so many honestly bad attachments to it, but it's like weirdly comforting. I don't know. And like same thing with Panic, like their old stuff is amazing, but I hate Brendan Urie so much, but it's like I just have a connection to it, so I will keep
on him.
Oh, he's racist and sexist and all the phobics and ists, like he's that.
Yeah.
I just haven't known enough about like any of that I haven't found out about that. So good to know.
I had a Fall Out Boy blog. I will on Tumblr. I will say it. It was terrible, and that's like because that's when I started getting into like really. I don't like to keep using the word standing, but like the more like obsessive like. I don't know, love for these musicians like happened when I got Tumblr, and then those were the worst years of my lives, and then I deleted Tumblr, and now I'm here.
So tell us about how you went viral on TikTok and how that connects to your music taste, because I think that's something that was so cool, like in my personal opinion, was having a song that is like so formative for people. This is my own opinion, like formative for people of many different age groups, and that becoming on a platform, becoming so viral on a platform of young people that might not have ever heard that. Is that a good way to say it?
Oh yeah.
So tell us about that.
First of all, I don't understand how it went viral. That was not.
Wait, before if anyone doesn't know, Mack created I guess it would be the same. Mack created the Zanzibar dance, as it's called, to the Billy Joel song called Zanzibar, and it went viral for a time. I think it's definitely past its prime right now, but that's yes.
Who were some people that did it? Thomas Gibson.
He follows me now, and when he because he didn't tag me originally, and he follows me, and it was like, hey, I'm so sorry about this, like your dance was so fun, whatever, but he just like sent me this really nice message like saying sorry for not tagging me. I was like, you are an amazing person. It was so cute. Hank Green did it. Just a lot of my favorite
not to mention Billy Joel posted it on his
yeah, what was that? I was so confused. People started, I was like literally at work, and I just kept getting calls, and I was like, what's going on? Like, you're on Billy Joel's story. And I was like, I didn't know he had Instagram, but what is happening? And that's just like a crazy, because when I went to his concert, I was sitting in like nosebleeds as if like it was in a baseball stadium. Like if I stood up and leaned, like I would have perished. And it's also funny, I'm so glad that they found my original video to post, because it like, so the video, and I just looked it up, it was like, now that sound has, I remember when I started, I checked, and it had like 8 videos, and now it has 440,000 like videos with that sound.
All you.
And I don't know, it just like slowly started building, and I didn't expect, like when I posted it, it was an absolute joke. I've listened to Billy Joel forever. Like that's been he's been like weirdly constant but inconsistent throughout my childhood, because I go through, that's one of the artists, is for some reason it's him and Lenny Kravitz. I won't listen to them for months, and then there will be a month where I will only listen to them, and like that's it. I don't know what it is, but I don't know, it was just so weird. And then I don't know, and then people started following me because of that, but then they were like, oh, nothing else that she does is like anywhere similar to this. It was just really weird. Like of anything that could have blown up, a dance, when I consider myself to be like more of a comedy account, it was just really weird.
But that's, I mean, I saw it because I had followed you anyway, but I saw it before it blew. I'm an OG. What can I say? I'm an OG. But I added the song to my playlist before it became the Zanzibar dance. And then I was like, yo, this is happening right now. Like, oh my gosh. But that was so cool.
The power that TikTok has to like in the music industry is like insane.
Changing people's lives, like Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat. Like, think about like
Also, people that are starting on their own, like that are making their own music. If you promote your own songs well enough, if you make a dance to it, or if you whatever, you might get big. Like, who knows?
Like Francis Forever with
Mhm.
Space Girl. Oh my god, I love that song so much. I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Like, I actually heard that song first. It like popped up on my Discover Weekly like a few weeks before that happened. And then
Really?
and then I saw like the dance was happening to it, and I was like, oh my god. And now it's so weird because now I have mutuals, like I'm mutuals with them, and that is so weird to me because to me, I'm like, they're like famous.
Yes.
In my head, I'm like, oh my god. And a couple other, like, I don't know if you've heard of Annie DeRusso or Orla Gartland. They're
Don't
really
Swerve? Is that Don't Swerve?
Don't Swerve. Yeah.
That's on my.
I love that song so much. And they're both really great. And just having the chance to like, oh my god, the people who I'm mutuals with now, like including you guys, just being able to talk to people who like I love their content, like that's so awesome. It's so weird.
yeah,
So I mean, you were talking about your music journey, but I guess we could change it to what, top songs of 2020, top songs now. Like, what are your favorites of the past, year or so, or right now?
I would say so. Definitely 2020, like Petals for Armor and Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers, top. That was all I listened to. And again, like with the hyperfixations, I wish I had like a lot of things to list, but it was like I would only listen to like a few albums because they resonated with me so deeply. But Simmer was my top song from Petals for Armor. That song, it came up, it was like embarrassing. I was like, you listen to this 200 whatever times, and I was like, ooh, that's a problem. And bringing it back to Paramore for a second, like I've practiced, Haley, or if I met any members of Paramore, especially like Taylor, because they do like most of the writing together. Um, like they're one of the people that I practiced my speech to, like if I met them in person. And one of the bits is like, thank you for, oh my god, oh no, I forgot, I'm not off book yet. I need them today. But pretty much just like thanking them for being able to be like the soundtrack to every like anger, joy, like sadness, and like growth, whatever that I felt like. It feels like they dug into the depths of my brain and then like just made it not sound like garbage. And there we go. That's their albums.
You have such a way with words, Mac. This is incredible.
That's so funny you brought up practicing, because I think one of the first times me and Emma FaceTime till like 3 a.m, we were talking about how we know we're gonna cross paths with Harry Styles, but
I've thought about this.
No, so it's not that we haven't met him yet. It's he hasn't met us yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's not met us yet.
Human beings, we're all the same. We are on this playing field.
Yep.
He's not ready.
Nowhere above or below us. No.
Yes.
Will happen when we meet him. Life-changing moments.
Oh yeah.
So Mac, any favorites from this year specifically? Have you found anything new?
Oh god, let me check my Spotify. I honestly don't think so. I've been like very stuck recently. What have I even?
Me with Remy Wolf.
I'm scared. Yeah, this year it's been a lot of like Boy Genius, which I know that doesn't that's literally just Phoebe Bridgers sticking onto the same track. Let's see my on repeat. I'm terrified. Mitski. Oh, Soccer Mommy. This is like still the same. I've listened to Soccer Mommy for a while, but just like, and Snail Mail. Them both amazing.
Snail Mail is from Maryland.
All the goods, All Time Low, Snail Mail, like who else? Maggie Rogers, all Marylanders.
From Maryland.
So to finish out the podcast, to round out what we were talking about, music related, do you have any other sort of last words, last favorite albums, favorite artists, favorite or impactful memories, or anything else that you want to input before we go? If not, that's totally fine.
Let me see. I was like, I don't know. I think that I need to open myself up more definitely to music this year. And I think it's so important to have, this is one of the albums that has stuck with me for years and years and years. And I think will continue to stick with me. And I don't think it'll ever be off of my like regular playlists. I think it's important to have those albums that mean that much to you. But I think my issue is that I stick too much of them and don't like explore. So I think it's important to have your little sentimental things, but also to, I think I need to try to like move on from this time in my life and explore outwards as part of my growth.
And if anyone else who is listening, oh my gosh, if anyone else who's listening also feels that way, that's part of the reason why, you know, this podcast, new album every 2 weeks, you know, it's meant to broaden, it's meant to open up maybe new artists that you've never seen. Like that's exact. I was getting into that sort of like, I was digging myself into that hole last year too. So I understand that. So maybe this will be the year of just a bunch of newness with the music.
Yes, I hope so. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And
Come on, we knew like immediately that we wanted you on this podcast. So
as soon as I realized you were, you know, we were mutuals or whatever, I was like, Claire. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So nice to meet you. So great to chat. I hope everyone that listened enjoyed too. And yeah, big bye, big thank you.
bye.